This video is going to be a little different than others. It's technically third in a series that I started months ago and really hadn't gotten back to, just because I didn't want to continue kind of talking about my experiences as a board game content creator. But in this instance today, I'm going to do it. This is my 1-year anniversary as this releases, and I've learned a lot since then. I've had a bunch of struggles, I've had some wins, and I guess those are all relative, but I want to share my experience with you. This video is dedicated to Mental Health Awareness Month. It's May now as I record this, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think it'll be apparent why it's dedicated to that by the end of this video. As I was thinking about my experience over the last year, it occurred to me that being a board game content creator is a lot like playing a board game. And on the surface, it's a fairly simple board game. It's a resource management game. You come in with time and money, and that's what you have to spend to make your first video. First video takes plenty of time, and it certainly takes money because you have to buy stuff like what you're watching right here and a microphone possibly, or maybe not. Maybe you just start on a phone like I did. You certainly have to buy the board games. Those aren't given to you. You have no followers or subscribers. No publisher in their right mind is going to start giving you anything, so you got to go out and buy the board game. That's my first action in this board game about making videos about board games. How meta is that? But then you all of a sudden get some views and some subscribers, and you rinse and repeat. You continue to take those actions, both spending your time and your money. And eventually you get past the first round. You see, there's 6 different rounds to this game, and if you make it to at least 5, you win. The first round is getting 1,000 subscribers, which was way harder than I thought it would be. It was honestly insane how long it took relative to the number of hours that I put into my videos. But it was a process of taking the action, spending time, spending money, creating videos, putting them out there, getting a few subscribers, getting a few views, and just continuing on until I hit that 1,000 mark. The second round of the game is to get free board games. You see, when you gain enough subscribers and you gain enough views, publishers start to trust you enough to send you some free stuff. And guess what? Then you don't have to spend so much of your money. But with only 1,000 subscribers, you're not getting everything for free. You're getting some. It's supplementing you just a little bit. It's giving you that bonus. It's that bonus tile you grab that's going to make everything just a little bit cheaper. But you're still spending plenty of time and plenty of money. And then you get to the next phase. And the next phase is getting paid to make the board game video. Well, first of all, you have to define, do you want to get paid from viewers and subscribers or publishers? I personally haven't gotten past this round yet, so I don't know which one's more lucrative, if any whatsoever. From what I hear, neither of them are very lucrative unless you're the upper echelon. But then you want to get to the next phase around by getting paid for making lots of videos. And that comes through a combination of continuing to spend time, certainly some of your money, and continuing to grind out videos. But then eventually you get to a win state, or at least this is the theoretical rules, which is you make enough of these videos that you're getting paid for, or get enough Patreon supporters to let yourself become independent of the normal basic workforce and essentially do this for a job. That's certainly not the end game for everybody, but I can tell you I'd much prefer doing this than what I do on a day-to-day basis, which I'm certainly grateful for. It pays the bills and has for a really long time. But regardless, that's kind of the end game in something like this for many. And like I said, board game content creation is simply a resource management. You take enough actions, and through attrition, you will gain subscribers, viewers. You'll start to get some free board games. And if you're good enough, you can start to get paid for it. But that resource management game makes it seem too simple. It's, like many board games, much more complicated than just the resource management. Remember I talked about time? That is a precious resource. There's 24 hours in a day. There always will be. You have to sleep. Presumably you also have to work a day job. So that takes up time in and of itself. But then what do you do with the rest of it? And the way I'm thinking about this theoretical board game about making videos about board games is there's 3 tracks. There's a family track, there's a health track, and there's a sanity track. And they all kind of go together, and they're all related to how you distribute your time at the beginning of each action. You see, in this case, an action is a day, and every day I wake up, I have a decision on how I spend my time. I've got 3 beautiful kids and a wife. I've got plenty of responsibility there. I've got a full-time job. I have to sleep. So a lot of my time can be spent just there. Then on top of that, you have to take care of yourself. You have to invest in your health. You see, if you don't invest in your family and invest in time spent with them, that's gonna make your sanity track go down. If you don't invest in your health, both physical and mental, that's gonna also make your sanity track go down. So if I'm distributing all of my time or all of my spare time into making board game content, that has a direct connection to both my health and my family, which flows through to our sanity track. Another thing that is also interconnected is as you're spending your time on creating these videos, your mental health can get wrapped up in it. And there's another kind of output that I didn't really talk about, which is likes and comments. Likes are obviously positive, and for this example, we'll talk about positive comments. Both of those, especially if you aren't making videos every single day, they ebb and flow. As you put out a video, inevitably you're gonna get some likes, you're gonna get some comments, and they're gonna make you feel good, and that's gonna make your sanity track go up. That's gonna help sustain you for a little bit, especially if you are pulling away those precious time resources from your personal health and family. It's gonna help buoy that sanity track. But at the same time, you also get negative comments and dislikes. YouTube doesn't show those dislikes, but they're certainly there. And when you go in the back end and you take a look at people disliking your stuff, I can only speak for myself, but even one, it takes a hit to that sanity track, while it might be small. The comments, the negative comments, while they're not incredibly often, they take a huge toll on that sanity track. Way more disproportionately than the positives affect it in the other direction, which kind of sucks. There's so many people out there that are nice and constructive and encouraging, but all it takes is one asshole to kind of just wreck that sanity track for the day. The other thing about that sanity track is, especially when you are a small creator and you have another job and you can't put out videos every day, you're not getting those little dopamine hits throughout the week as you are playing games and starting to maybe script or shoot and edit. So slowly that sanity track is sort of like a cascading failure mechanic where it's going to continue to degrade unless you get another video out. And the game and in real life, YouTube likes consistency and a lot of videos. So it's pulling for that time mechanic, while also you really need to be spending that time mechanic on your health and your family. It's really a catch-22, right? If you want to really succeed, you need to be spending a ton of your time on doing what I'm doing right now, talking to the camera and then editing it and posting it and all of that stuff. And for me, I don't really haphazardly just throw videos out there. I take a really long time to edit. So those investments on a per video basis are huge. On top of that, sometimes your opponents, as much as I don't like to think of them as opponents, but there's certainly competition in other content creators. They're all racing for that same space or that same action you want to take in the form of the video about the game that's in the hotness. So if you don't beat other content creators to that space, the action you're taking and creating that video is going to have less effect. It's going to have less output. It's going to have less views, and you're going to get less subscribers from it because it's going to see less people because they're already bored about watching that same video about that hot game. Everyone else already got it. So that leads me to kind of like where I am in this game right now. Like I said, I've gotten past the first round in 1,000 subscribers. A year in, I'm about 1,500 right now. I've certainly gotten some free board games. I still spend a ton of money on games from like a month-to-month perspective. I'm trying my best now to trade stuff away, to get other stuff. I'm trying to also just cover some older board games that aren't the hotness, that are maybe a little easier to acquire, and bring a unique perspective to them. Really shed some light on what are some really wonderful games that might be underappreciated. The tricky part is they're just not viewed as much as the new stuff. I recently made a Lost Ruins of Arnak video that honestly was 50 hours. I mean, it was an insane edit. Basically everything I could think of and putting into a video in one. And that may have been a mistake in itself. It might be too long. It's a game that isn't on really the top hotness. It's not top of mind for a lot of people. But I love it, and I wanted to bring that love to you, the audience, and just kind of see what I could do with it. I also employed some new editing techniques, and it was just a big investment in time. Honestly, when I dropped that, it didn't do well, and my sanity meter took a massive hit. Like I told my wife in going through it, I mean, it took me a couple weeks to produce this. I said, if this doesn't do well, this might be the nail in the coffin. And it certainly wasn't, which is why I'm here still talking to you. But shortly after that, I saw an opportunity to do a video on harmonies. I happened to have harmonies. There wasn't a ton of content out there. It's sitting at the very top of the hotness. It took me about 2 days to produce. It might have been 10 hours of an edit. It's, maybe a little bit less in general. I'm still proud of it. But as compared to that Arnak video, it was really a throwaway video. And at this point, it's got 4 times the views or more, and was just another lesson, like, the algorithm, which is like you can replace the name algorithm with people. People want the hotness. They're a lot less likely to click on something that's not new and shiny. And I saw that in the case with that harmonies video versus that Arnak video. Anyways, back to where I am. I would say I'm probably allocating too much of that time resource to the channel. I probably should be spending more time on the family. And we still have time together, but when I do this, which is really turned out to be another full-time job alongside my regular job, I'm sad to say they're probably the ones that suffered the most. A few months ago, I had taken a hiatus to actually pour more of that time resource into health. I've had some health tests that didn't go my way, and my weight has been ballooning. So I took some time off and I really spent it on myself. I started some healthy habits. I got rid of some much needed weight and worked on myself. And at that point, I actually didn't even know if I was going to come back to the channel. Specifically, I didn't hear from one person. Nobody cared. And that's the tough part, is this gig is pretty lonely. And I know there's some of you out there that do appreciate this channel, and I'm honestly in debt to you, because you all, like, if you made comments, especially if you're consistently commenting, it's the only reason I'm here right now. It's the only reason, because it's just enough into that sanity bucket to keep me going. I don't want this to sound like I'm complaining about doing this. This is by choice. This is something that presumably I want to do and is why I'm doing it. But it was just so much harder than I thought. When I started this, I committed to myself that I'd make 100 videos, and I thought it would be about a year, and I'm almost there. And then I would kind of re-evaluate where I am. And if I continue to play this game and I'm spending the most precious resource that there's no way to increase it in time and money, and there's no return on that investment, and the channel's growth is so slow, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep doing it. Like I said, I love board games and I love sharing that with you. But my personality is one in which, like, when I do something, I really want to do it well. So I don't think I could ever just casually have this channel. It's a defect of mine for sure. It's kind of all or nothing. So I either have to continue to go full force, trying to get this thing off the ground and really going, or quit the game before I don't put enough into my family, I don't put enough into my physical and mental health, and that sanity track hits the red and lose the game completely. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly. I really, really don't. I mean, will I make more videos past this video? Yes. I certainly have plans to. Will I ever hit that one video out of the park that just sees this channel grow like crazy? Probably not. I thought I would, I honestly did. I put everything into this. I really did. I learned so many new skills. I hated talking in front of a camera. I didn't have any idea how to edit, but I gave it my all. I really, really did. The point of this video isn't to say poor me. The point of this video is to bring awareness to mental health, a la Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to encourage you, if you know somebody that's pursuing something really, really intensely, go encourage them. It might be the thing that fills that sanity track just enough to get them to that next phase. Because what I said, it doesn't just apply to board game content creation. It's really any sort of side pursuit that somebody is going after that they really, really want. And sometimes that pursuit can be awfully lonely, really tough, has you question your motives and what you're doing and why you're doing it and if you should continue. And somebody coming along and encouraging you could be the thing that gets you past, gets you through the finish line. The other thing is, if you're struggling, I'm a huge proponent of talking about it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to a camera. As shallow as that may sound, I'm still mentally processing the things in my head that are making me not feel so good. And when you say that out loud, maybe it'll help you get to a solution a little bit faster, maybe brings you out of denial, who the heck knows? But I encourage you, if you're having a tough time, just find somebody to talk to. Hell, turn a camera on and talk. Look at a mirror and talk. It might help you out a little bit. And in fact, going into recording this video, I was feeling pretty down. I just published a video, it's so-so. Reaction isn't as I'd hoped, which is fairly typical. We've got high expectations, especially when I put so much time into each video. But even talking about it with you, who is a future you, I guess, but just talking about it like a crazy person in my backyard alone, just made me feel a little bit better. Made me realize that it's finally sunny in Seattle and I should probably stop looking at this damn camera and go spend some time with my family. So if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you've been with me on this journey, honestly, I really, really appreciate what you've done for me. There's a lot of people that have watched my videos that haven't liked or disliked or commented, but you all out there, and you know who you are, consistently show up for me, watch nearly every one of my videos, and comment whether there needs to be a comment or not. You're always there in the comment section to kind of chat about it. I think that's pretty cool. So thanks for being that type of person, because it really has made a difference in my life and given me fuel in pursuing this dream. So once again, thank you for being here. And if you're new here by any chance, maybe think about subscribing. At least for now, I make board game content. I pour my heart and soul into it. It is heavily edited and slightly different, I think, than a lot of others. Certainly less consistent because of that. But if that intrigues you at all, go check out another one of my videos. Outside of that, go have yourself a good week.